Welcome to our orientation to 4-H career explorations. My name is Alexa Maley. I am the New York State 4-H STEM specialist and the event coordinator this year. I'm really excited that you'll be coming to career explorations on campus at the end of the month. And I'm also really excited that Chris and John are here with me today to help you prepare for coming to campus. Chris and John, can you guys introduce yourselves, please?
Sure. I'm Chris Nestle. I'm an educator here in Washington County, and I believe this is my third year as the chaperone advisor.
And I'm John Bowe. I'm the assistant coordinator for Cornell Cooperative Extension in Warren County, and I think this is also my third year. I think Chris dragged me into this about 3 years ago.
Thank you both for taking on that role at Career Explorations and for joining us today. We're going to start by just providing a big picture view of what happens at Career Explorations and to help prepare you before you even get to campus. So Chris and John and I are part of a great team of 4-H educators from across the state, of youth leaders from across the state who have been working together since January to get ready for this event and for all of you to come to campus. We have about 20 teen leaders from across New York who are our focus assistants. They help us with pre-planning, like what's the opening ceremony going to look like and what's our theme this year. And then they're also play a very important role during the event, helping to bring groups to their focus programs, connecting with the campus leaders who run those programs, and just being general leaders and role models for the other youth who are there. And then we also have, as part of our team, Jamila Simon from the State 4-H office, who runs the University U program for us. And then we consider all of the chaperones and educators and participants who come as part of our team too, as everyone helps make this an event a success. We're really excited this year. Our theme is Rooted in Tradition and Growing the Future, and we hope you see lots of opportunities to do both of those things as we celebrate this event that's been on campus since the 1920s, I think, and changes and grows every year. So one thing I'd like to show you is that we have a very detailed handbook. This is the New York State 4-H website where you'll see career explorations featured right now. But on our career explorations page, we have a handbook for you that will help you prepare for what to expect when you get to campus. So it's right here, and we update it on a regular basis. I have a couple more schedules to put in there, so we'll have a final version ready for next week. So just wanted to show you where to find that. In this handbook, it includes important things like your schedule for your focus program, locations of your University U programs, our opening ceremonies, what to do on campus if you happen to arrive early or stay late, anything like that. Some of the most fun that we can have on campus is all the walking that we do together. So I'll just pull this Google guy back up. The other thing we've created to help us walk around campus, because I feel like they have a new building every time I turn around there, is we have a Google map for our conference, which points out all of the locations where activities are held. And you can see these red guys right here are all of the major events that everyone participates in, and then there's green ones for people who are in the focus program, and then there's blue ones if you're doing the University U program. So if you're like me and you get lost inside of buildings and brown paper bags, this can be a really helpful tool for you. And the handbook also has important things like what you should pack, because sometimes activities will involve wading through streams or working in labs, and then there are specific things you should wear or bring, like an extra change of clothes or closed-toed shoes. And it also includes important policies for helping us all work together well and to be safe. And one of those policies is our code of conduct. So please be sure to read through this very closely. Everyone signs the code of conduct and a permission slip. All of the volunteers and youth do as part of signing up for the event, but we really want to live this working agreement together and have a safe and welcoming environment for everybody to grow and learn together. And for us, we are really clear that safety is both physical and emotional. So think about how you can do that for yourself and for others during the conference. We do encourage people to try to be there, to feel safe being their full selves, and we will match people to roommates. The youth will have a roommate in the dorms on campus according to their gender identity that they let us know on their registration form, and people are welcome to use bathrooms and things like that according to their comfort too. If you have a special need or a question or a concern, give me a call ahead of time and we'll figure out how to best prepare and make the event the best way possible for you. I am aware there's a couple of holidays or other celebrations that might change your experience. So for example, if you're celebrating Ramadan during June and you need to have meals at different times, like I said, just let me know and we'll do what we can to make the experience the best possible for you. And just a reminder that this code of conduct applies to all of us, so both adults and youth are expected to live up to this. So we can all live our 4-H values together. And if you have questions about any of these things, you're welcome to contact your 4-H educator or myself, and we're happy to talk through any of it. And we prepare all of these things to try to avoid issues and accidents, but you know, there's going to be about 465 of us all there together, and so sometimes things happen. We've definitely had situations in the past where walking across the bridge and step wrong and twist an ankle, or somebody says something unintentionally that hurts somebody else's feelings. So we try to prepare ourselves for handling that in the best way possible. So we have emergency preparedness plan that we'll be emailing around to adult chaperones and talking through during the chaperone orientation, which we'll talk about a little bit later, which helps us prepare for incidents and medical issues, and includes a cell phone communication tree, which we don't share publicly, so will not be posted online or anything like that. And then as part of the event, like any other 4-H activity, we like to reflect on how things went and learn from them so we can improve for the future. So we have an evaluation plan and many different ways we try to do that more formal kind of reflection. So our conference planning team comes together to do debriefing meetings and conversations. We ask all of our participants to fill out a survey after the event, after they've been gone home and had a chance to have those great conversations in the car ride. So make sure you look for that. And county reflection meetings are a great opportunity during the event to do some reflection and learning. And then if you prefer a more visual way to show what you learn, if you like to play on social media, please consider using our hashtag 4HCareerX16 so that we can all share our stories together. And we found some really great pictures to use in our closing slideshow last year using this hashtag. So we hope everybody enjoys that again this year. We have a couple of revisions to our process this year that we're hoping will make check-in a little bit smoother and relaxed for everybody. One of those is that now check-in will end at noon instead of 12:30. So plan ahead so that you can come in, be on campus, and get all your paperwork and dorm keys and everything before noon. When you get to campus, we're asking one adult to go into to RPCC. In the back by the circle there is where we'll be. And then that one adult will do the check-in process. So hopefully 4-H educators will have already had a chance to upload all the forms that we need, the code of conduct and permission slips. so you shouldn't have to bring in anything. You just come in, and there'll be a series of tables set up and some happy, smiling volunteers to usher you in the door and welcome you to campus. You'll be able to get your dorm keys and your meal tickets and maps and schedules and all of those happy things that you need to have a great conference. We'll also hand out parking passes then, and then direct you in the directions of the dorms. And conference services puts up tons of signs for us to try to help direct people to their rooms within the dorm buildings themselves, because sometimes they can be a little bit fun navigating. So we want to try to do that and get everybody settled into their dorms. Their stuff just dropped off, so we can all come back together at 12:30 for orientations. And we'll have two separate orientations, one for the chaperones, which will be back in the Robert Purcell Community Center auditorium on the same floor where you do check-in. And then the youth will have an orientation right at the program signs, which will be in front of Court Hall, that green space there. So Chris and John will lead the orientation for the chaperones, and the focus assistants will lead an orientation for the youth that are in their programs. Some of the programs also have a lab safety training as part of the orientation process. That's noted in your handbook, so just double check your program schedule and you'll see that. And that lab safety workshop will be in the RPCC auditorium. So you can do that, and both the adults and the youth who are part of those programs should do the lab safety orientation if that's required of your program. Everybody will be checked in and ready to go, and then we'll meet back at our program signs one more time. You'll have your first day of program. University U, this is opening assembly. Your focus programs, you'll get to meet your program facilitators, get started with activities. And then in the evening of Tuesday, we have our opening assembly where we officially welcome everyone to campus with a variety of big group games and interactive activities so that you'll get a chance to meet people from other counties or other states and make some new friends. So we're excited about switching that up a little bit this year so we can help build those connections. And we're going to hold the activity at Appel Fields, which is on North Campus, kind of in the same area as Helen Newman Hall, which is the gym, and will be our rain location. So we're all going to do our sunshine dance so we don't need it, but we do have it just in case. As you are checking into your dorms and using them throughout the conference, we just want to remind everybody that youth should be hanging out with friends and with each other in common areas and public areas. So there's some lounges in the dorms. If you have county meetings, you can use those. There's spaces for the evening activities with the gym and pool and outside, but youth should not be hanging out with each other in their dorm rooms. Only the people who are registered for a room should be in that room. And just a reminder that most of the dorm room doors lock automatically, so just be aware of that. Have your key with you at all times. Accidents do happen. If you do find yourself locked out of your dorm room, you'll be given a phone number. Adult chaperones can call, and conference services will come and help unlock doors for us. And just another reminder to make sure you try to get some sleep during the conference, which is always a fun challenge for us because we're having so much fun we don't want to go to sleep. But there is a conference curfew time that we all honor, youth and adults, in order to try to help us be as alert as possible the next day. And then Thursday, at the end of conference, you'll take your luggage out of the dorms in the morning before program starts for the checkout process, and one chaperone from each group will bring the keys back in. And Chris is going to talk a little bit more about that later, so I'm not going to touch on it too much. Dining, we have excellent food choices at Cornell. We eat in the dining halls just like the students do, but there's a lot of activity, a lot of different programs that happen on campus, and there's a lot of us. So we split our Career Explorations group into two different dinner schedules so that we don't overwhelm dining staff so there's enough food to go around. So in your handbook, you'll see that you'll either have dinner A or dinner B, and your group will go to that same dinner both evenings, both Tuesday and Wednesday evening. And then you'll have the option, you'll have your county or county reflection meeting opposite your dinner. You will have meal tickets as part of your registration packet and need to hand those in when you go to meals. So make sure you have those. Your name tags will be zipper pocket name tags, so it's a good idea to just stick your tickets right in there. You have them ready to go. And then something that's new for this year is our lunch on Wednesday will be in the Physical Sciences building in the atrium there. Beautiful, sunny place. So look for that space when you're walking around campus. And then Thursday, after opening ceremony is complete, if you would like to stay and have lunch with us on campus, you'll have a meal ticket to go back to RPCC to have lunch there before you head back home. We'll have lots of fun activities to do on Tuesday and Wednesday night. If you like bowling, there'll be bowling. There's swimming, so bring your swimsuit and towel if you'd like to go for it.
Okay, so in addition to movies, we also have billiards. There is no fee for billiards. That was a question that came up with the educators. There is a quiet lounge for youth that maybe like to read, play some quiet card games, things like that. Also, there will be a variety of different outside activities, and certainly the kids are free to set up their own activities as long as they follow the code of conduct. County photos will be arranged. Where did you say that those will be this year, Alexa? I think you said at
each county group will be able to take their county photos wherever they want, and then you'll just email me the photo so we can put it in the closing ceremony slideshow. So we've had people do it at like the footbridge or, I don't know, their favorite place around campus. So think about it with your group where you'd like to take your county photo.
And then each county will have a reflection meeting at night. This is an opportunity for you to give feedback, for the kids to give feedback as far as what was going well for them, what we can improve, and what we are doing an excellent job at. And of course, sleep. It's very, very important. Keeps everybody on their toes and in a good mood. And it can be pretty warm there, so sleep is extremely important for keeping up during the day. And I can't afford, there you go. Your health and well-being, keep hydrated. As we pointed out, water bottles are critical. Have youth and chaperones and educators hydrate as often as possible. It is a lot of walking, and it is often warm during that time of year, very warm. So make sure that you get that, get your rest, get enough sleep. The curfews are there for a reason. Make sure your kids are in their room. They should not be leaving their room unless they're needing to use the restroom after curfew starts, and they should certainly be on their floor and quiet at that time. Be welcome and respectful to all. It's contagious. So, Chris, I'll let you take over the chaperone role, and I'll chime in when necessary.
Okay, very good. Thank you, John, for stepping in. Okay. For some reason, I can't get this slide to advance. Alexa, could you advance the slide? Thank you. So the responsibilities for your group. You can talk about, with the adults that are traveling out, the role of youth supervision. And it is not just for your chaperones, whether you are the chaperone or you have volunteer chaperones or other staff chaperones. A gentle reminder is that you are not just chaperoning the youth in your county, and parents aren't just chaperoning the youth that are in their families or maybe in their 4-H club. We chaperone everyone. And very likely the chaperone will be assigned to a focus group or a university U group in which maybe there's no youth there from their county. And, you know, so just keeping in mind that we chaperone all youth, it's important for us to be cognizant of that as we go throughout the 3 days. In terms of the dorms, another chaperone responsibility we want to make sure that is not forgotten is that we need to make sure with our keys that we check and match the keys to the room when we get them, and then at the same time when we hand them back in, if there needs to be a key change, then that should be noted on the slip that's attached to the folder or the envelope. The other thing is take a quick look, have youth notify the chaperone if there's any damage to the room ahead of time, and then chaperones need to do a sweep through when they're checking out to make note of any damage that occurred while their youth were staying there, and make a note of that. The other thing,
anything that they left.
Yes, and most importantly, well, maybe not most importantly, but yes, please check for chargers and all that kind of stuff. We in Washington County have had things left behind, and then they were now no longer available. So the other thing, the other responsibility, and we feel that this is an important part of the career exploration experience, or with any trip experience, is the county reflection time. This will be the second time that it will be the time allotted for that is in the opposite time during the dinner period. So when your county is not eating dinner, that's a time for that county meeting and to do county reflection. This is an important part for youth to reflect back on their day, and they may have things to share from their programs or maybe from an interaction. It could be positive, it could be maybe not so positive. So if you, we want to make sure that you are aware and ready to handle those kinds of questions. And then also if you are bringing a volunteer chaperone or sending a volunteer chaperone, that they too don't just poo-poo this and you know, consider it to be an important part of their experience. Okay, and then in terms of, in addition to just escorting youth to and from the programs, it is important that the chaperone experience does not end when the program ends. So there are evening activities that we will have assignments for. Please make sure that your chaperones, you and your chaperones, check out that schedule that will come out ahead of time to see where they're supposed to be, at what night they're supposed to be, at what time period they're supposed to be. We try to make sure that places are chaperoned so that youth can have a safe experience, as well as if an issue comes up, you are the adult there that can help them solve their problem. So it is, you are chaperoning from the time you leave your dorm room to the time you go back to your dorm room, and everybody's checked in for the evening. John, do you have anything to add to that?
The only thing I'd probably add to that is, you know, we're there to support you. So if you have any questions, you have any concerns, you'll receive Chris's number and my number, and certainly, especially if there's any issues related to safety, please let us know.
Right, exactly. And we will be floating around to the different areas for the evening activities just to check on you, make sure that you're doing okay, or if you have any questions. And you will have our, as Alexa explained earlier, you will have our contact information that you can reach out to us. And as we just slightly described, John and I are both the chaperone advisors. We are there to support you. You can contact us throughout the day, and it may be to ask a question or to notify us if something has happened. We had a situation, for example, last year where a youth fainted, and then they ended up calling the emergency squad. So they wanted, I got a phone call to say this youth from such and such county, her chaperone has been notified, but we wanted you to be aware that we did this is what we've done, and these are the people that we notified. So that is greatly, greatly appreciated. We will communicate with you ahead of time, as I mentioned earlier, about the chaperone duties. There's an emergency preparedness plan that has been put together for this year. And then we also have this county orientation meeting video that we are working on right now. And we think that we want to make sure that you can be as prepared as possible, knowing that there always is some little hiccup that we might not have covered ahead of time. So please know that all of us have had some challenges as well as some great successes at this particular event that we would, and it's not just John or I or Alexa, but some other seasoned educators that would certainly be able to share what they have done in this particular situation, et cetera. So, and then if you are encourage your volunteer chaperone to reach out to that lead chaperone if you yourself are not attending as the lead chaperone for your county, so that you know, encourage them to reach out to them with situations that are beyond just needing a Band-Aid. John, do you have anything to add to that?
So the one thing is, if you are without a staff member and you take an issue to your area lead staff member, at that point it then becomes the staff's decision to decide what to do and how to handle that situation. So make sure that you understand that when the staff does make a decision, that is the final decision to be made.
Very good. Okay, so Alexa had highlighted this previously, but we did this year in working with the Inclusivity and Diversity cohort, of which Alexa and I are both members. We wanted to make sure that everyone has a safe place or feels safe. Alexa also highlighted the new locations. We're using Bailey Hall for the closing ceremony. The lunch will be held at the Physical Sciences Atrium, and then opening ceremony will be at the Appel Fields, which is just on the other side of Appel Hall, which is just on the edge of North Campus in the green where the kids have played games, et cetera. So opening ceremony is going to be more of team building. The focus assistants are working on that, and I do remember in early days that we would go to the stadium, and that's where opening ceremonies were held, was on the football field. So I feel it's kind of that rooted in tradition aspect of career explorations theme this year that we're going back to, which is pretty cool. The day one, the first day, the change in the schedule is that check-in does end at noon, and that the youth and adult orientation, and youth orientation, the way we're handling this year is new, but they are both starting at 12:30. And I believe that's the end of the PowerPoint.
It is, and if anybody has any questions or concerns, they are definitely welcome to contact us. And you'll see on the website where this is posted our email addresses and contact information. But mine is ask37@cornell.edu if you want to send me a note. And thank you very much for joining us for this orientation. We look forward to meeting you in person at the end of the month.
I can't wait either.